Hello and welcome to Your Story. First up, news from South Asia. India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj is meeting the relatives of the 17 Sikhs who were killed in an Islamic State attack in Afghanistan on Sunday. The suicide attack had killed 19 people, including 17 members of Afghanistan's Sikh minority. Another 20 people were wounded in the attack. The blast on Sunday damaged shops and buildings around Mukhabarat Square. The bombing came hours after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani inaugurated a hospital in the city, the provincial capital of Nangarhar. Police say that the suicide bomber targeted a vehicle carrying members of the Sikh minority who were travelling to meet the president. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, in a tweet, strongly condemned the attack. He said, and I quote, "We strongly condemn the terror attacks in Afghanistan yesterday. They are an attack on Afghanistan's multicultural fabric. My thoughts are with the bereaved families. I pray that the injured recover soon. India stands ready to assist the Afghanistan government in this sad hour." Unquote.
Ganambashu, Yaugadi, Wakil Seven Nasto, Mirsinklar Nasto Kalanta, told Nas to Basandar Teofri and Fajar told Al Tascaro Lado Mungagota, Chuguna watch Rashamus the Downy, say Yaus Foga Mokinishu. Yawe was as a pro, was Omagadi, Nakatash, no Soga Mokinishu.
Shelton of Tapian, the Nunastan was show just another old Shivich, Dobeke Musulmanan. لستنا پیژندل شوی څکانه وطنه تر اوسه موږ سره مجلویه دي په وژل شوو کې د اهل هنودو د پارلمان یا ولسي جرګې نومان اوتار سنگ هم شامل دي.
And WION Siddhant Sibal now joins me live from New Delhi. Good evening, Siddhant. What's the latest you're picking up on Sushma Swaraj's meeting with the relatives of the people who died in that attack in Afghanistan?
Right now, I'm standing inside the external affairs where the meeting is still continuing. The meeting started at 6 o'clock and is still continuing. We are expecting shortly the minister and the delegation to come out and speak, and of course they will talk about what happened. There has been a palpable anger against what has happened, particularly with the Afghan Sikh community who is staying here. We went to a place in Delhi, Tilak Nagar, where we saw the Afghan Gurdwara where Ardas was done for the martyrs who were killed in that terror attack in Jalalabad.
All right, on that note, Siddhant Sibal in New Delhi, thank you so much for all that latest. And staying on the story, a prominent Sikh leader, Avtar Singh Khalsa too, was killed in the attack. Now, throughout Avtar, just last month, he had spoken to WION and told our correspondent that minorities in Afghanistan were facing hardship, and so far, no help was forthcoming from the Afghan government. But Khalsa was hoping to change that and planned on contesting the election to the Afghan parliament in October this year. The 52-year-old Khalsa hailed from Paktia province located in the eastern part of Afghanistan, but lived most of his life in Kabul. And WION Siddhant Sibal earlier has caught up with the Afghanistan's ambassador to India. Listen in.
A terrible tragedy has happened in Jalalabad, a terrible attack in which many Sikhs have died, including Avtar Singh, who was to represent the minority community in Afghanistan. With me is the Afghan ambassador to India. Sir, welcome to WION. My first question, sir, this attack has happened. Your first words.
Well, very tragic. I'm very saddened to have heard the loss of our 17 Sikhs and one Hindu, altogether 17 lives in Afghanistan. Very tragic. As you know, Afghanistan is under attack almost on a daily basis. And we are the victims of terrorism that affects everyone, including our Afghan Hindu and Sikh community. Here we lost a bulk of our Hindu and Sikh community in Afghanistan, including the candidate, Avtar Singh, a very patriotic Afghan. I condemn it in the strongest possible words. And we hope that Afghanistan, the Afghan people, will no longer suffer from terrorism that is coming from across the border.
So Avtar Singh, a man who was to represent the minority community, the Sikh community, the Hindu community, so any words, special words for that person, a brave son of Afghanistan?
Absolutely, very patriotic. And I often visit our Afghan, Sikh and Hindu community in Delhi and Afghanistan. And I, in most cases, find them more patriotic than many Afghans I see on a daily basis. Very patriotic. They come to my embassy and they go to the Afghan government offices. And Avtar Singh, particularly when you mentioned, he was a real patriotic Afghan. And we really mourn the loss of this brave Afghan. And we wish his family, the Afghans, patience with the loss of such an irreparable one that we just came across. And we hope that Afghanistan, the world community, or friend India, will stand with Afghanistan to defend the Afghan lives. And the defense of Afghanistan is the defense of everyone, especially India and Afghanistan facing a common enemy, that is terrorism. Terrorism that is coming from the same sources. Therefore, we have to do more in order for our two nations to be safeguarded.
So can you just tell us a little bit history about the Sikhs and the Hindus in Afghanistan, what role they have played in nation building in Afghanistan, their historical role in the country?
Absolutely. They have been in all walks of life. Unfortunately, we don't have such a large number of Afghan, Hindu and Sikh community anymore. But whatever number they are in each and every field in Afghanistan. They have been in government, they have been outside the government, they've been active in the civil society, and they've been a very strong source of our democratic faith in Afghanistan. And this attack was an attack on our religious freedom. This was an attack on our diversity in Afghanistan. This was an attack on our shared values, an attack on the Indo-Afghanistan friendship, because Hindu and Afghans are the bridge. The Hindu, Sikh and Afghan are the bridge between our two nations. So we are lucky to have our Afghan Sikh community living in Afghanistan, and many of them are living in India. But they've never forgotten their country, their motherland.
So my last question, you've already spoken about terror, how it's emanating from across the border, but it seems that the countries, the states who are responsible for it, they are not mending their ways despite pressure from New Delhi and Kabul.
Absolutely. I think the world has to answer this question. It's not related to only Afghanistan and India. We have a country that sponsors terrorism and spreading all over the world. Of course, Afghanistan and India are the biggest victim of this, but the world has to answer. The terrorism that is coming to us and to the rest of the world. We hope that the world community will learn the lesson of 9/11 and many other incidents all over the world. But the sources are clear, and we hope that the world will no longer sit idle or keep quiet on the very known and very clear use of terrorism against all our nations around the world.
How much time do you, the WION viewers, spend browsing social media sites every day? Are you one of those obsessed about checking updates on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, and the like? Well, experts have warned that too much time on the phone may be bad for your mental and physical health. Now, governments and businesses are recognizing the threat that social media sites cause to employee productivity. In India, a proposal by the Department of Telecom to regulate over-the-top services such as Skype, Viber, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram or Facebook had met with stiff resistance a few years ago. It was said that the proposal impinged on the freedom of expression of the users and was not in keeping with the times we live in. Well, now a similar debate has kicked off in Uganda in Africa after the government there began imposing a tax on the use of social media use. Starting this month, you can't use over-the-top services in Uganda unless the new social media use tax of 200 Ugandan shillings per day is paid. The Ugandan government believes that such a tax is necessary to control the activities of its young population and curb gossip. President Yoweri Museveni says that idle talk on social media is causing economic loss for the country. Now, though the new rules have started a big debate, it impacts only a minuscule percentage of Uganda's population. Barely 22% of Ugandans use internet services. Reports say that tech-savvy youngsters have already begun work on ways to skirt the new tax. All right, joining me live is a blogger, media and communications specialist from Kampala in Uganda. Rosebel, thank you so much for making time to speak to us on WION. Now, give us the reaction that this caused in Uganda where you are. What's been the popular reaction among youth, for instance?
I think that this tax has to be understood within the wider ranges within the government trying to control young people expressing themselves. Uganda is the second youngest nation in the world. Our average age in Uganda is 19 years old. So when you have a lot of young people online expressing themselves for the first time in many years, like the government has never been used to this kind of expression. It's really the spirit of the tax is to curtail freedom of expression and an online freedom of expression in particular. But along the way, we see the restrictions to access to information because young people exchange information. This is not just for entertainment. A lot of education material, a lot of information that young people share through all these services is going to be curtailed.
Rosebel, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Excise Duty Amendment Bill, which was passed recently by the country's parliament, puts a 1% levy on total value of mobile money transactions. Now, the government says we need this money to give free education, free healthcare to the people across the country. Is that something which the people in Uganda are buying into?
No, I mean, you have to realize we have a president who has been in power for 32 years, and the regime in Kampala is highly corrupt. It has not delivered much in terms of education and health. We are struggling with the health bills. In fact, thousands of Ugandans trek every year to India for health, to access health care. That's how bad it is. And we don't trust that even this tax on top of the very many other taxes we pay would be used to give us any service from this kind of regime.
And Rosebel, very quickly, now that this tax is become a reality, how do the civil society members intend to take this or take their campaign forward in terms of agitation, a movement or protest maybe? Or have they reconciled themselves to paying this tax going forward?
First of all, you have to realize in Uganda, only 18% of the people live in the urban areas and use internet consistently. And we have seen people moving to go to the courts to really bring down this kind of tax, and the fact that the parliament did not consult. This is that there was no consultation, and we're seeing, of course, young people online using virtual private networks to circumvent all these taxes and the lack of connectivity. So indeed, there have been fewer people online, but those who are online are using virtual private networks, which we are told that the government would like also to block from now on because they think that everybody should be paying this tax. But when you look at in reality, we have very young population, very high unemployment, youth unemployment rate. So there's no way you can add this kind of tax to young people who hardly have any jobs.
Indeed. On that note, Rosebel, thank you so much for joining us live from Kampala in Uganda. All right, moving on from Africa now to West Asia. In Lebanon, policewomen are patrolling the streets in black mini shorts and red beret. The city's mayor hopes that the move will improve the image of the country and attract more tourists.
الناس عم تتطور مثل ما اليوم صار الوزير ما بيلبس كرافات ورؤساء جمهوريات بيلبسوا جينز. نحن حبينا نكون سباقين لانه يوم من الايام كلهم رح يلبسوا شورتات. فالشورت هو وللامراه بيعطي هيك صوره لطيفه وصوره صحيحه عن حريه المراه، مش عن الصوره يلي بيحطوها عن بلادنا. لانه نحن عم نعمل جهد كتير كبير كقطاع سياحي تنقدر فعليا نجيب أهل الغرب، لأن نحن عم نجرب ننوع السياحات ضمن المقاطعة اللي صايرة من الخليج العربي باتجاه لبنان.
The move has received mixed reactions. Some say that it is wrong to lure tourists using attractive women. Others say that the uniform of their male colleagues has not changed.
وهيدا شيء جديد كمان لنشجع انه البنت انه مثل الشاب فيها تشتغل اللي بدها اياه، هي محترمه حالها، واهم شيء تكون عم تشتغل مع ناس مرتبه اكيد تبين انه عم تحترم حالها، انه مش بس بالحكي يعني بالفعل كمان. بكل شيء في باد كومنتس وبوزيتيف كومنتس، نحن عم نتبنى مثل ما معودين البوزيتيف. الباد يعني اذا نحن مقتنعين بهالشيء ما في حدا يعني بالباد كومنت تبعه يغير لنا وجهه نظرنا، ولو في شيء غلط بهالشيء نحن ما بنكمل.